Hi guys, Oluwabukumi and welcome back to All Shades of Bukumi. So today we'll be having a conversation, as you can tell from the title, about siblings. And I have a very wonderful friend here that we are going to be exploring our sibling relationship together. And I hope that you enjoy the conversation and you get a thing or two from the conversation. Let's get into the video. Here's my wonderful friend, Onyinye. I call her Onyin's money. Onyinye is that person that you can call anytime. That Onyinye, this and that, and she's like, I got you. So Onyinye is a very wonderful person. Onyinye cooks.
Oh.
She bakes. She's the owner of Smiles 05 events. Every event planner is a counterfeit. So yes, I have Onyinye here, and I really like that we are doing this because I'm the last born of 4, and she's the first born of 3. So we have different experience with being siblings, being the last born, the first born. So you're going to gain, and I know you're going to gain from different perspectives. So yeah. So Onyinye, introduce yourself.
Okay, so my name is Onyinye Wafo, and I'm the first child of my family. I'm a baker, like she said. I decorate everything, events, and then what else?
Oh, sing. You mentioned that you're the firstborn, but what's the dynamics of your home? How many are you guys? What's the difference? Where is everybody now?
Okay, so I'm the first child. We are 3. We have 2 girls and a boy. I'm the first. The boy is next to me, and then the girl is the last.
So for me, we are 4, 2 boys and 2 girls. The first 2 are boys, and then the last 2 are girls.
Yeah, okay.
So the first one, me and my sister, the one that is like the third person, we have like 6 years plus age difference.
Wow, that's a lot.
What's your favorite memory with your siblings?
Favorite memory? A lot of memories.
Just one that is very fun.
Okay, so I know one fun thing we always did was going to the village. Like that was almost like a norm.
Was it yearly or?
Not yearly. Like we went to the village like for virtually every festive period. Like my dad was someone that would always want us to travel. So in fact, we spent a lot of time in the village.
So what do you do when you go to the village?
What do we do? We eat akpu. I can't even lie. I think that was a very nice experience for us. And then we had siblings that were outside Nigeria. So imagine when they come around and then we all go to the village. So it was always fun being in the village. Yes, I think that was one fun memory. What else? Like we had a lot of memories together. Like I always used to tell people that we grew up in that kind of family where for every morning we wake up, there must be devotion. Like so.
Same here.
So imagine like we come out in the morning, no matter how tired you are, once it's 6 o'clock, you have to be seated for devotion. And that devotion time was amazing. I can't even lie. And we'll study the word. Like my dad will read the Bible. Like those were very nice times. And then going to church together was another thing that I know I enjoyed. And then on Sundays, when we're back from church after eating, we just sit down in the sitting room and just gist with our parents. So not just us. Like we had that kind of bond with our parents. And I can't even lie, those are days I'm looking forward to in my own home.
Children. Yeah. I think I also have similar experience because that devotion, my daddy does not joke with it. If you sleep past the devotion time, you will just know that you will enter your room with a bowl of water
and sprinkle
the water on you. He will not even wake you up and say, you just come in the morning. So you know that it's time for devotion.
Yes.
So that's one thing. Then another thing that I know is because when my siblings, when they were in uni, I was home.
Yeah.
So I was like in my secondary school, something like that. So I was home. So when they come back, I'm the one that will give them the tea. Everything that's up for like, do you know that this? So because I'm the one that has the gist. So when they come home like that, we'll sit down and I'll be telling them that last month, so happened. Last year, just so happened. So they come and meet me
as the informers.
So that's one thing that I remember. Then the gisting too. I know we used to sit outside because we have a very large compound. Sometimes we sit outside because my mom likes fresh air. Yeah. So we sit outside, we bring chairs, all of us outside. So people will sit on the staircase and we just be gisting,
Wow.
laughing. We don't have dining table because
Yeah.
everybody will bring our food
Exactly.
outside and we eat outside. There's no formality.
Yeah.
Just have fun.
To be honest, I think these days people there's too much formalities like in the home, so it's really not fun the way we experienced it. Like there wasn't a timetable exactly. That's the word. There wasn't a timetable to say no, you have to do it this way. Like our parents just allowed us to flow and just enjoy ourselves. And personally, I would say we didn't have so much, like because I could remember those days. There was a particular car my dad had, and that car would drive like one pole. We used to say that car used to drive one pole. So what I mean is, you drive to this pole and then the car will stop. We have to push the car. But imagine doing that with so much, like we had fun doing that. And when my dad got the first, I think it was a 504. When he got that car, it was looking like a limousine came into the house. And then I would never forget, like when you shut the door would do bang. But that one, when you shut the car, so you can imagine. But then, like, I can't lie, like thinking about it, I feel like those days helped us to grow and bond together. And those are the days that we look back to, and no matter what happens, we just know that this love still remains to get. So yeah.
Because now somebody is in Nigeria, one is in Canada, one is in the UK.
Yeah.
So the memories of your childhood is what you hold on to, because you don't have as much time as you had then. Was there ever a time yourself and your siblings struggled to get along when you were younger?
No.
So
to be honest, it was always very smooth, to be honest. No, there wasn't any time. Because the only break, like I said, was when I went to boarding school. Well, of course, when I come back, it feels like everybody has to download what has been going on, and then
updates.
I just flow in. Yeah, so I don't think we ever had that. No.
So I don't think I had a major struggle too, but my own was just that I was doing all the works. Like I would want to wash clothes, wash plates.
Oh,
now, every morning. So my house then. Every Saturday morning, we are either eating akara or moi moi.
Yeah, ours was moi moi.
Yeah, so we either eat it with pap or bread. So the bread, I would just say, "Bukumi, go and buy bread." I'm like, God, I want to sleep. I'm the one doing everything.
You will do everything because you came last. That's how it is.
So you cannot relate to what I'm saying, because
no, I can't.
You can't say, "Oh yeah, go and wash that plate."
But funny enough, thinking about it, like when I was growing up, I know one thing that I didn't like to do was washing plates. But I was the first. And if I even think about it now, I was the one always washing plates. And those days, when they bring out the plates and say, "When you go and wash," I would cry and cry. My dad would say, "If you want to die, why washing them? But you still wash it." My mom would not even answer, because that was like an issue between me and my dad, because she knows that my dad will always be for me. But when it comes to that plate, my dad will say, "You have to wash that plate." So that's something I didn't like to go do at all. But when I grew up, I just like what I mean is, then my brother was there, even my sister was there. So it wasn't like they were smaller. So obviously it was my duty to do it. And I would never have thought that when I become an adult, I would not like kitchen, because like one of my favorite places. One of my favorite place in my house, in my home, is the kitchen. Like I could spend the whole day in the kitchen. And I know some of my friends will say, like my friend will say, no matter how stressed you are, no matter how angry you are, once you are inside that kitchen, you just forget about all your pains. But yeah, but growing up, I didn't like kitchen at all. Like when I was a child, I didn't like to wash plates at all. I remember vividly, that was one issue my parents had with me. I would cry and cry and cry. But then my dad would say, "This plate, you must wash it. Cry." Nobody has died because they were crying. So even if you like crying,
has died because they were walking.
Yeah, so do it. So yeah.
Did you feel like your parents influenced the kind of relationship you have with your siblings?
Oh yes, I would say yes, because I would use my mom as an example. My mom, there are 7 of them.
Wow.
Yes, there are 7, and she's the last child.
Wow.
And then we grew up knowing my mom's siblings. We grew up knowing, in fact, even my dad's siblings. So we saw it in them, like we saw the kind of relationship they had with their siblings. And so, yeah, I would say yes, it did. Because those days when we go to the village, we are all around, like everybody, her siblings, like my mom's siblings and their children, and then we were also there. And we see the kind of relationship that they share, like the bond they had. And so, why would you do a different thing from what you are saying? Or they laid the example, actually, yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Did you call yourself sister, brother? Did they call you that?
No. So personally, I wasn't someone that liked that auntie, sister. I didn't like it. Because I remember my sister, especially, I think I remember my sister. I can't remember my brother, but for my sister, at some point, she wanted to start calling me Auntie Onyinye, Abi Sister Onyinye. And I'm like, no. And my mom was like, why? I'm like, it doesn't make any difference. That does not show that she respects me more or she respects me less. Because yes, my mom, I think the reason she would have done that was, I remember my mom's siblings, if I even till tomorrow, she would say sister this, sister this. So maybe she thought
that's what she grew up.
So she saw it and she thought that was the right thing. But personally, I didn't like that.
But imagine that you were like 11 years, 12 years older. Would you still have wanted her to call you by your name?
So the thing is, well, I can't say, but why I would now say maybe yes, because before I came to the UK, I had a little girl that was staying with me, and she would call me Auntie Onyinye, and I didn't have an issue with that. So maybe, so maybe the age difference was also what prompted that. But personally, I don't believe, in fact, till now, I don't believe that if you call me auntie or you call me, because you do auntie and say,
I will feel auntie and so for me, I think,
to be honest,
I think that's what my parents knew.
Yeah.
And we had quite a long gap, so there are reasons were validated.
Yeah.
You can imagine we had maybe like, so just 2 years. You can still wing it, but 10 years, 11 years, that's like a lot. So it's something that worked for us. But personally, why?
Exactly. But
like,
because
for my own children, it's not something I would encourage. Like, there's no point. I feel like that might also create, I don't know, everything has its own pros and cons. That's the thing. But then I feel like calling sister and brother, the freedom of speech might not be there.
Yeah, freedom of relationship with each other. Yeah,
that's true. So that's just the thing that's for me. So in one word, how would you describe your siblings? Not now, like growing up. How were they growing up?
Growing up. Okay, so while we're growing up, because I went to a boarding school, I realized that they became closer.
Yeah, because they were home.
Because obviously they spent, in fact, till when we're adults, till like university days, I think the relationship between my brother and my sister, they kind of grew apart after my sister got married, because obviously she was now married. Both of them were closer, and I was close to the both of them, but they were closer than they were to me. And then I don't know where the Iron Lady thing came in, because my sister would always say, Onyinye, she does not take in nonsense. So once she would just, but I feel like
firstborn energy.
Yeah, but the thing is, it wasn't like me being strict, but it was just me being blunt. Like, you do this, and then I tell you that this is what you did. Do you get? Like, I know some siblings, I don't know if that's their own way of showing love to their siblings. So when someone else does what is wrong, you now want to sugarcoat it. No, but for me, I just tell you that this is it. What you did, this is how it is, and this
Point
is
blank.
so for my sister especially, I would use her. She would always say, that's one person that I can run to that will tell me the truth, no matter how hard or how simple it is. Onyinye will always tell me the truth. So yeah, I don't think,
So for me, my first brother, growing up, I I would say that the way you were to your siblings was the way it was to us.
Okay.
You know, it wasn't. It's not something that it's not my first go-to because it will give you as it is. People like that's just it. I say that it's like I received tough love from him, like tough love. So that's one thing. It's not maybe because it's the firstborn. For my sister, no, for my second brother, My second brother is very sweet, but you know when you are sweet and you are carrying pepper, so you just sprinkle a little
With
bit
a
of pepper.
sprinkle.
What's your take on family being friends, like you and your siblings being friends aside from being family?
So the truth is, I don't think it's something you learn. It's something that just happens, and it doesn't happen as adults. Well, yeah, it could, but I feel like your experiences from growing up would be what would help you guys become friends. So yes, it's very necessary because the truth is, family would always be there when every other person is not there. Family would always be there. So yes, it's good to be friends with your family, with your siblings especially. Yeah.
Because I know that when you growing up, you will see them as your family or necessity, like it's necessary to see them because they're your family.
Yeah.
But then I feel like for every person, there should be a turning point where you see beyond just being family and you're like friends with them. You can relate to them, you can talk to them. So do you have that point for you and your siblings that you people became friends?
Yes, I feel like because of the age difference, we grew up knowing ourselves. So obviously that friendship was there. I'll share some pictures with you that you could probably share. So we had some very amazing pictures that you see our heights. But now it's now different. I'm now
your brother is not taller than you. That's it.
So we had amazing pictures together, like some very, very funny pictures that when we look at those pictures, Facebook will always remind us of those pictures and we just laugh about it. But I would give an instance. There was a time after we lost my dad. Of course, people would grow apart. Definitely. I know that there are some families that will grow apart because of the loss of the father. But that was one thing that I'm very grateful. That's one thing I'm still very grateful for. Because we lost our dad didn't mean that we now grew apart. In fact, that even made us bond and made us stronger. Yes, because we're all intentional about making sure that our story was not going to end because our dad died. You get, and then after then, I had a friend who had cancer at some point, and I remember when she called me to say I went to the hospital and I was diagnosed of breast cancer. Like that was one experience that every time I think about it, I get really, really down. And it was bad for me because I had experienced something like that with my dad, and then my friend was now also having, and like we were friends. I was in the middle of the whole situation. But I remember that day, I can't forget. It was in the evening when she called me, like tears just rolled down my eyes. And then when I went into the house, I told my siblings, I said, see, what just happened? And it was the same word that came out from both of them. They were like, Onyinye, you are strong. All you need to do is stand by her. And I thought of it. I said to myself, stand by her. It's not going to be easy, but every time I got weighed down with the situation, when I remember that word. So for me, it felt like your siblings already believed in you that you could stand by someone. And they would not believe that I could stand by someone if they had not had that experience on their own. So that was one word that always kept me going each time the situation tried to weigh me down. Yeah, so yes, yeah. In fact, they were always there, to be honest, or they are always there. Even as I'm in the UK, like the kind of relationship I share with my sister, like she could tell me virtually everything. Yeah, everything. When I mean everything, not her and her husband. Definitely. Yeah, so yes, that friendship is very, very important. And then for my brother, I remember last year when he came to the UK for Christmas, like he came to visit me. Oh my God, it felt like because I not seen in 2-3 years, I think, and then
you were living together before
he traveled. So you can imagine, like I was the last person. Like we spent his last days in Nigeria together, and then he now moving to Canada, and then after years he visits me in the UK. Like, oh my God, it was one experience that I cherish a lot. I can't even lie. So yes, and all that would happen if you have that friendship. If
Yeah.
you guys like you miss each other, you are looking forward to seeing this person. You're looking forward to spend time with this person. So yes, friendship is very important.
So
among
for
siblings.
me, I wouldn't say that for like me and my like the ones that are very older than me, we grew up like seeing ourselves as siblings.
Yeah.
For myself, I don't know for them, but for my sister, because we are closer, at a point we became friends, and that was the point when we spent time together. Because most time we don't have that time together at home, because they've gone to school. Me, I'm the one at home and stuff like that. But there was a point that my sister and I were at home. So it was just the two of us. So that helped our bond. Like that was the time I was telling my sister about my boyfriends, about this. Do you get? So growing up, I wasn't doing all of that.
Yeah.
So it was just my siblings and everything. But then at that point, we spent time together. That was when we got close and start. I can tell my sister anything. Like even things I've not told anybody in the family, I would have told my sister. That's definitely that's.
But funny enough, when you talked about boyfriend now, I can't remember any time I ever had a conversation with my siblings about my relationship.
But they
would relate with me about their, like my younger sister, for example. And then even my brother, there was a girl he dated while we were in university, and I knew who the girl was. So not like he had to tell me, but somehow we knew about it. But for my sister, in fact, I think I've always been a safe place for her. I don't know how we got there or how it happened, but like she would always just tell me, and I'm someone that would never judge. In fact, even with my friends, I think that's why everybody always talks to Onyinye. You would tell me, like, this is what I'm going through. Yes, the truth is, people will say, but you're not supposed to have done this. If you had done this, maybe this would have not happened. So when you do that, people become unsafe around you. But for me, I would not judge. Even if I know that, yes, this thing you have done, it was your fault. There's still a way to go about it. You would still make the person know that, yes, but not directly. Because at that point, the person is going through a lot already.
And they even know that
what they have done. So if you're saying it to them
again,
it's pointless. So yes, so I would say I can't remember discussing my relationship with my siblings, except when we now finally grew up, like we grew up and we're now matured. Obviously, I had a relationship and everybody in the house knew about the relationship. Because something else that is very important to mention is the kind of family we grew up. Well, I won't say family, but personally, the kind of person I was when I was growing up. If I have a friend, I would introduce my friend to my family. So most of my friends were so comfortable in my house. Do you get what I mean? Like they could come to my house and feel like they were in their house. So at the end of the day, I'm friends with you. And then what happens is you become friends with my siblings, and then your parents become friends with my parents, because obviously you are spending time in my house. So your parents want to know, who is that? Where is that place? So that was how the relationship I had with my friends, and it's actually helped because your parents could say at every time, this is who she's relating with, this is where she, and then I was also good with making friends. So that's something that everybody just knew in my house. And today, most of my sister's friends now, there's a little trace. Like when you want to trace it, you could say she knew this person. Some of them through Onyinye. In fact, I was even telling her the other day, I introduced a friend to you, and now all of a sudden you are now closer to the friend than even me that introduced. So yeah, it's just I would say that thinking about it, like I've said before, I'm looking forward to having that kind of relationship with my children, with my husband, and also trying to make sure that my kids have that relationship within themselves. Yes,
it's very important.
It's very, very important.
So even if they can't come to you as
they
a
should
parent,
be able to talk to their siblings.
To your siblings.
Yes. Because funny enough, there are days that my sister will say something to me, or I would say something to my sister. And my mom will act like she's not aware, but trust me, she's aware because someone has gone. Because there are things that I could say to her, and if she doesn't have a solution to give, she goes to my mom to say it to me. And indirectly, my mom will not come out straight to say, I know you are going through this, but she would somehow look for a way to give me that solution. But unknowing to me, that story had gotten to her, maybe through my brother or through my sister. So yes, it's very important. It's very, very key. It's very key. I don't know how parents go about it, maybe by just being relaxed around their children, because my parents, we were very relaxed around our parents. We didn't have strict parents. No, I can't remember anytime my dad would take a cane and flog you or beat you or something. So yes, we just had a very relaxed home, to be honest. Yeah.
Do you tell your siblings you love them?
So now, yes, I do now, and that's because I felt like my sister, I would say my sister, she would always say it. She doesn't stop saying it. She says it like on a regular basis. And my mom, there's no time you have a conversation with my mom. When that conversation is ending or sending a message, she would always tell you, I love you. So I remember there was something that happened, and was it my sister or my brother? One of them said, I love you. And the person is like, tell me you love me too now. What is it? We know you show it. So I just realized that, yes, you show you love your siblings, your friends, your family, your parents. You show them with your action. But then it's important to say it once in a while. So yes, I've learned now to tell them, I love you.
And then another thing I've noticed is that so far, even though we are siblings, we have the different ways of receiving love and of giving love. So the way I receive love might not be the way you are giving me. So even though we are siblings, do you get?
Yeah.
So if you tell them, that reinforces the fact that
reassures them.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the fact that I'm saying this does not mean that I tell my siblings I love them.
In fact, I remember now that we traveled, and my sister is in Nigeria. In fact, she would say I love you, but she would also go extra to go to maybe her WhatsApp status, and then she would post your picture and say, my Odogu brother. Once I see it, I'll say, babe, Alpha, what do you want? And she's like, I don't want anything. I cannot praise my brother again. I say, okay, we'll give you the whole of today. Maybe tomorrow we will hear what that thing is. So yes, and me, I've also learned to post my brother. Like I flaunt my brother, I flaunt my sister. But I think, in fact, I have to learn how to flaunt my sister more, because these days it feels like I flaunt my brother more than my sister. And
I would say so because I see your
yeah,
more than your sister.
So yes, I think I have to learn to create a balance. But funny enough, I talk to my sister more than I talk to my brother.
That's why you feel like I just spoke to this.
In fact, some days he will call me and say, Onyinye, call your brother. Call your brother. But it's fun, to be honest. It's really, really fun. It's
for me,
fun.
I did not grow up being emotionally expressive growing up for me. So it's not like it doesn't come natural to me telling you I love you. Why am I telling you? Don't you know?
Don't you know?
Like I would say that till now, the only person that I'm like I'm emotionally expressive to the fullest is my husband.
Your husband, yeah.
But I'm like, why am I telling you? Like, don't you know I love you? So it's something that I will have to.
No, but it's very important. Yes, it's very important to reassure even your friends. It's important to tell your friends you love them, not just your siblings. Because you see that love, everybody needs it.
Because they might be going through
a
difficult time, and just
that I love
you,
just
they can just burst out crying. Like, and I needed that. I get.
Oh yeah.
So, was there something your siblings did that really touched your heart, like inside your heart, and you've not told them thank you for, and you want to tell them thank you for doing this, thank you for doing that?
Okay, so there was an experience I had recently, not recent, but like I think 2 years ago, and it's something that normally if it had not happened, I would have felt like I wouldn't have been able to discuss something like this with them because they were younger. But I discussed it with them and they were there for me. Like they were there for me, and I've not said it to them, but thinking that, but I think some Sundays ago there was a sermon that was preached in church, and that particular sermon brought everything back. And then I was just thinking about it, and that Sunday I remember I posted them on my status, and I was like, thank you for standing by me during this hard time, because they were really there. They were there for me. So yes,
for me, for my brother, my first brother, during my wedding, I did not have to like. I remember asking some of my friends that how was it? Did you eat? They're like, you don't even have to ask us. Your brother was
It
all
was
over.
all over. Wow.
Your brother was like, have you eaten? Have you eaten? I'm like, I did not have to tell him to do it. You get, and it wasn't like I'm the first, but I can't be doing. It was like all hands on deck, and I really, really appreciate that. And thank you so much.
And yes, I have to say thank you too, because when I came to the UK, people, most of my classmates, they were struggling to pay their school fees. Like they were working and paying their school fees, but
So stuff.
but I didn't have that experience, and that's another thank you to my brother and my uncle. Like he's younger to me, so maybe he would have felt like, why should
You
I be
should sort it out
responsible for
yourself.
this girl? She will sort it out herself. But no, that's not my brother.
there.
He would always feel like I want to be the man in her life. So even when there is no man in quotes, even when there is no man in quotes, you just yet. So even when there was no man figure at that point, like that just helped me a lot. Like my own was, the reason for working was to pay my rent and then feed myself. So you can imagine just relaxing, and then at the end of the month, you don't need to call anybody. They are like, so yes, I want to say a very big thank you to my brother for that. That's something that I can never take for granted. But he will always say, don't worry, when you are getting married, I'll take the money back.
We all know that was. So I really like when I hear from my friends and they're like, but don't, your brother was just all over. Have you eaten? Have you eaten? I was like, I did not even have to ask him to do it. And then when I was writing my ICANN, so my dad and my brother that was paying for my ICANN, they just tell me, hello, daddy has dropped this, me, I'm dropping this. Daddy has dropped that, me, I'm dropping like. Then for my second brother, when we were coming to the UK, we just finished our wedding. We were broke. My husband, we were broke. We were broke. My brother just called out. How was it? Like, what's the plan? Where are we going to stay? Where are we going to stay with? I was like, we don't know. We are still looking but for now. And it was a few days to us coming. I said, we don't know. We are still looking for him. But I was like, we should not worry. That he's going to book a 1 week hotel for us.
Oh, okay.
So that gave us safe and soft landing. Because imagine us coming and we are just scattered looking for where to, but it was like, don't worry. And 1 week is not small money.
So you were chilling,
and it didn't even it wasn't like, maybe your husband is there, do you get? This is my sister, I have to do it for my sister, and he did it for my the sister and her husband. You get? So that's something that I'm really, really, aside from other things that he has done, like that one stood out for me, like thank you so much. Then for my sister, when I wanted, that one is about my husband. So when we wanted to get married, not get married, when we were dating, the day my husband just messaged me that, see, I can't keep doing this. Let me know what is going on. When is this thing going to happen and stuff like that? So I just told my sister that as he was sending the message, I forwarded it to my sister. Send it, I forwarded it to my sister. My son now called me. Is this saying he's not doing again? What's going on? I said, I don't know. My son was like, I should not worry that she's going to call my parents. My sister just called my parents. She just started crying. Please let me get married. Don't because of me delay her. Because she wasn't married then. Married then. So like, let her get married. Leave her alone.
I can relate.
That don't because of me delay her. Like, let her go. My parents, they had the best intention for me. Like they wanted me to finish that, so that I'm not a burden to the husband that wants my ticket. It really meant a lot to me that you could go that length. So I'm thinking
really about it. Really, I think I also had that experience because, like I said, my younger sister, she got married 2020, and this is 2024. And imagine we're 5 years, like I'm older. 5 years older. And I remember when she started talking about marriage, I know I heard some people I can't remember my mom ever saying that to me, but I know some people will say, so your sister is getting married before you. But for me, I felt like that was when she was ready.
Yes, now
so why you hold on?
Different. Even though we are siblings,
it's not about age.
We have our purpose, we have our life.
Yes, so I never had an issue with it. In fact, that's one wedding that I know I planned. Like I planned that wedding from like everything about that wedding. You can ask me and I'll tell you how everything went. That I was in A to Z. And coincidentally, I never had any experience of anybody because I know people will say,
but people would have said it behind you.
Well, yes, because obviously they know the kind of person I am. I'm someone that once you say it, I respond to you immediately.
As they hot.
As they hot. So in fact, I was response ready on the wedding day. Like I was waiting, but at the end of the day, nobody came to me. So yeah, I honestly don't believe that marriage has to come with age. I'm not the one in the UK today, and to be honest, I'm very comfortable, very very comfortable with how far I've gone and with the things I've achieved. And marriage, definitely, marriage will come.
My girl, it will be like this. It's just a beautiful thing to have siblings that you know that are there for you, that you can bank on, and you don't even have to say a word.
No.
They will do it. It's an amazing thing. And I pray for everyone out there that you really want this kind of experience and you don't have it. I pray that even if it's not your siblings, God will send help to you, like men that would be there for you through thick, through thin, through anything, any part of your life. I pray that God will send men unto you in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
So that is all we can have today, and I hope you've learned a thing or two. So I want you to go to the comment section and just type someone that has been there for you, be it your siblings, be it your friends, anybody that has been there for you, and just give them a shout out in the comment section. And then thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much, Onyinye, for coming. Thank you for sharing your siblings with us. Thank you so much. And
thank you for having me.
No problem. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, guys. Please like, subscribe, share this video, and drop your comments, please.
Yeah.
See you in the next one. Bye.